Hello friends, welcome to my video. In this video, we will be covering how to launch your first EC2 instance. This will be a practical, so we need to log into our AWS console. I'm logged into my AWS console, and by default, I'm connected to North Virginia, so I will be using this region only. So click on Services. Under Compute, you will get a EC2 option. Click on EC2. EC2 dashboard will be open, which will be telling you what are the running instances, what are the dedicated hosts you have, how many dedicated hosts you have, how many volumes is there. All these values, all these informations will be available in this dashboard. So since this is a new account, so let's go and launch our new instance. Click on the launch instance. It will ask us to choose Amazon machine image. So this is the by default images being provided by by Amazon. We can select the images as per our requirement. Amazon provides a lot of options. It provides its own Linux version, Amazon Linux. It provides Red Hat, it provides SUSE, it provides Ubuntu, it provides Windows, and these all comes under free tag. So for this video, we will be selecting Amazon Linux because it includes some of the third-party tools being installed by default, and it provides a AWS command line tools also. So click on select. It will ask us to select an instance type. What will be the instance type? So here we will be using a free tag, so it will be T2 micro. In case if you want high capacity compute capacity, then you can select the other options which is available. So you can select M4 if you want 16 CPUs and 64 GB of RAM, but here we will be selecting T2 micro. So click on next. Now you can provide the number of instances you want. So here I will be can say 10 instances at a time. You can get 15 instances you can create at a one go. So here I will be just creating one instance to show you exactly what it is, or I will take two. This is a purchasing option. If you want to place your instance in a spot instance type purchase model, then you can select this option and it will provide you what are the options. But this is not in this region, spot instances is not being enabled, so we can't explore much, but it will give you here the current price. What is the current price of the spot instances it is. Then you can put your bidding here. So if you put 0.045 as your bid, so it will be 4.5 cents per hour. Then if you want this to a persistent request, you can select it. Then you can provide from what time your request should be valid and until what time it should be. So request valid from and valid to. So we will be deselecting as we will be using a free tag. Then it will be asking for a network. What will be the network you want? It's a by default one VPC is being allocated to your Amazon, so I will be using this one. But apart from that, we can create our VPC also. VPC stands for Virtual Private Cloud. I will be covering how to create your own VPC in my next videos, so don't worry about that. Now I'm selecting only the default one. It provides us the option to select the IP range, from which IP range I want my instance to be. So here we have 6 options available in this region. We can select any of the subnet from where we want to, and each subnet is associated to one availability zone. I repeat, one subnet is equal to one availability zone. This is most key factor which you should remember while doing a AWS certification or any interview question. A subnet cannot be associated with two or more availability zones. It will be associated with one availability zone only. So we select it as a no preference right now. We don't want to get assigned IPs. I will leave other options. Shutdown behavior. What will be the shutdown behavior? Whether if I click on the shutdown, what should be there? It should stop or it should terminate. So I will select it as a stop. Terminate will delete your instance. So if you want a protection on your termination, you can click here. It will not allow you to terminate your instance. The option will be disabled. So by accidentally also you cannot be terminate your instance. If you want, you have to disable this option. I will show you how to do that. This is the monitoring. You can enable a CloudWatch monitoring here. That will cost you some additional charges on this, and this will allow you a detailed monitoring on your instance, like what is the CPU usage per minute, what are the reads and writes on your drive or your disk. These options can be checked here. So CloudWatch will be a separate topic which I will be covering in a separate video, so don't worry about that. Here I'm not selecting this. The tenancy, whether you will be using a shared hardware instance or a dedicated hardware. So since we are in a free tier, so we will be using a shared. Click on next. It will be saying that what volume type is being mounted. So it will be a root volume with a 8 GB of size. We can change it, like we can put it as 10 GB. What is the disk type you want? So we select it as a general purpose SSD GP2. So this drive has a IOPS of 100 to 3000, and if you change to magnetic, IOPS is not there. If you check to provision IOPS, it will be 500. So I will select general purpose SSD. Delete on termination is being checked. It means that if we terminate our instance, the volume will be deleted automatically. If you don't want to get your volume deleted automatically on termination, you can unselect this, but for this I will be doing it as a select. The root device will not be encrypted. By default, encryption is not being allowed on the root disk. So if you want to encrypt your disk, there is a separate method which I will be covering in my next videos. Click on next tags. You can assign some tags to your instance type, like name my EC2. I can add date 13/03/2018. So this will help me to identify my instance. Suppose accidentally you left over you didn't stop your EC2 instances, and even for the free tier you get a certain amount of hours, and if you exceed those hours you will be charged, and once you are charged you cannot track what are the services which is being charged. So if you have added your tags to your services, so you can trace it what exactly services is being charged. So it will be giving like option my EC2, the tag will be there, so I can easily track, okay, I forgot to stop my EC2 instance. So click on next. It will ask me for a security group. Security group is nothing, it's just inbound and outbound traffic control. Means that whether we want inbound traffic to our system or not. So here we are allowing a SSH to our instance type, which means that any of the system with no IP range, means any system in the world can access my EC2 instances with the SSH. So I will name it as my SG, and can add some more rules. HTTP, so any IPs with port, if they want to access the instance type with on port 80, they can access. And here it's using IPv4 and IPv6 both. So security group is just inbound and outbound traffic regulations. So if you don't add SSH, we will not be able to log into our EC2 instance. So here we have created our own security group, review and launch. Now it will give me an error warning that okay, your system is being opened to the world on port 80 and 22 and anyone can access. So I have allowed that, so it's no issues. Down it is showing the values which is being configured in the previous steps, so we can review it and click on launch. Here we will be asked to create a new pair. Since it's a new instance, I will be creating a new key pair. So I name it as my EC2 and will download this key pair. So I download it here, click on launch instance, and now both the instances will be there. So we can view the instances and you can see my EC2 is there. 2 instances are getting initialized, and a public DNS is being allocated to this instance, a public IP, and since we didn't enable the monitoring, it is being disabled, and we can check to which security group it's being associated with. So, and there are some tabs over there. So in the description tab we can check what are the values being set, what is the security groups, what is the public IP, what is the private IP associated with this instance type. In the status check we can create alarms that will be covered under CloudWatch, how to create these alarms. In the monitoring we can see what is the CPU utilization percentage wise, what is the disk reads, disk write, how much network packets in and packets out. All these details can be monitored using this monitoring. And in the tags you can find out the tags which is we have allocated to this instance type. So now our instance is up and running, so we can connect it. So click on connect and copy this command. Here I am using a MOBA Xterm as a SSH client. You can search on Google MOBA Xterm, and this is a free software which you can download. So you can download MOBA Xterm from and install it on your Windows machine, and with this you can directly access your EC2 instance with a command line. I will be covering a new video also on this, how to connect with different SSH clients like Putty, Excel. Now here I'm just using MOBA Xterm to show you. So I go to the path where my key pair is there. So it's in the downloads. I will go to the downloads. I will see, okay, it's there, my EC2. I paste the command. So it's doing SSH, giving a key pair, my EC2 instance. The EC2 user is the username and the public DNS. So I'm logged in to this EC2 instance. I will access this system with a root account and will do IAM update just. So now our EC2 instance is up and running with the Amazon Linux, and we are updating the Amazon packages. So one thing you can see here, we enabled the protection, termination protection. So if we click on the instance state and we go to the terminate, so we are not getting this terminate option, it's being disabled. So we cannot terminate this instance unless and until we put it a termination protection into a disabled state. So how to do that? Click on the EC2 instance, go to the actions, go to instance setting and change termination protection. So here, yes, disable this termination protection. It will be disabled automatically, and then you can go to instance state and terminate. Now it's giving me an option to terminate. So this way you can terminate if you have a protection enabled on your system. One thing more I want to show you here is the security group. So we have a SSH rule attached to this security group, the inbound rule. So if we remove this SSH rule from the security group, then what will happen? Will we be able to SSH to this system? Let's see. So I'm trying to do SSH and it's not allowing me because I have removed that SSH traffic from my security group. So in case if you are not able to do a SSH while launching your first EC2 instance, please do check whether the SSH traffic is being enabled in your security group or not. So I will add the SSH here. The IPs I will take as all the IPs, save, and it will be connected. So once we add the rules into the security group, it will automatically be allowed. We don't need to refresh anything. Amazon takes care of these things, and we are logged into our EC2 instance. Thanks for watching this video. Please do comment on this video so that I can get your valuable feedback. Please do subscribe to this channel, and in my next video I will be covering up EBS volumes. Thanks.